Welcome to Worlds Collide, a wrestling card podcast for wrestling fans by wrestling fans, featuring Tony Vella from WrestlingTradingCards.com.
This is like a stock market.
And Zhan Morning from Wrestling with Cards on YouTube. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, I'm just posing the question. Join them as they navigate the world of wrestling cards, helping you build a bigger and better collection and making some money along the way. What's up, wrestling fans? Worlds Collide, back again. Here we are. Wow. We're going to ruffle some feathers today. We got a pretty interesting topic.
It's very possible. I think we're getting a little bit more controversial in some of our topics sometimes, I think. So.
You know what Eric Bischoff says?
Controversy creates cash, baby.
Well, we hope. Anyhow, today's episode.
We've already done it before in a couple episodes before where we've actually, it's like, you know what? It's 2022. We've lived through a pandemic. All right. We're just, world's opening up. Things are changing. We're going to war. We're doing this. We're doing all kinds of stuff. We don't care anymore.
Well, and you actually said it. The world is in fact changing, and so is the wrestling card space.
Exactly.
Because today we're going to talk about some new faces and new leaders in the wrestling card space. As many of you know, credit where credit's due. The two guys that I remember doing this longer than ever, David Peck, Rob England, for years.
Absolutely.
They've been flying the flag. We would not have wrestling cards where we are now. We wouldn't, grading wrestling cards wouldn't be a thing. I mean, yeah, we would have wrestling cards, sure. But where they're at as far as like pumping them to a level of, hey, these are important. These are as important as traditional sports cards. Again, those two guys kicked it off. I did a whole funny video on my YouTube channel, Wrestling with Cards. You should go check that on YouTube if you haven't already. With their permission, I did a funny kind of thing, put together some of their old pictures and some awesome interview clips. And I did interviews with both of those guys. And they've also been on this Worlds Collide podcast. We've had them on roundtable episodes. So go back in the archives and check all that stuff out. But those two guys started this. Since then, we both know people that are collecting certain ways, whether it's vintage, whether it's modern, and they've kind of come up through the ranks. And we've seen people go different directions. There's also people out there that I know that probably have these massive collections and they're just not talking about it. Whether that's because that's just not for them. They don't do social media. Maybe it's that they don't want to be an influencer. We did the influencer episode not too long ago, and they don't want to try to influence a market or influence the way people collect. But
I know a few people like that. Yeah, I've tried to request some people to be on a WTC episode to interview them, and they don't want to be out there. They don't want to be a face. They just want to collect and enjoy it.
And I respect that. Like I'm not, I do appreciate the people who are putting out content, which we will talk about some of them today. But if that's the way you collect and you don't want to be a quote influencer or content creator, that's fine. It takes all kinds of people to make this hobby work. So let's just get into it. We've got some names down that we're going to mention, and I know we're going to miss some because there's a lot of people out there that we interact with on a regular basis, but there's certain names I see out there, and these are names or groups of people that I think they have the ability to move markets. I think they're smart. I don't think they're pumping and dumping. I think they legitimately just have passion behind what they do, and they like to voice that opinion. And some people agree with them, some people disagree with them, but they've become a little bit more important in the grand scheme of the wrestling card space than I think they used to. Again, going back to Dave and Rob, like those are the wrestling guys. Like I see people on Twitter reach out to them all the time. Hey, I've got this beat up Undertaker card. What do you think of it? Stuff like that. But again, the people we're going to talk about today, which don't include me and you, these are other people we want to put on a pedestal. They're starting to get some traction.
I'd also put in that same category, by the way. You're going to have the Paul Anunds from the Price Guide. You're going to have the Chucksters who, because of social media now today, are getting a voice and are getting recognized. But these are old school collectors too that have been around a long time. That I don't think we really put them in this category we're going to be talking about.
Well, I would put you in that same category with WTC. I mean, if you didn't have WTC, half the resources and the information that these collectors were going to talk about, they wouldn't have that information.
Yeah.
Like I put all of you guys in the next step like right there above. Like you guys, in my opinion, are the next guys, because I was collecting wrestling cards, but I wasn't digging into the information like you guys were. Like, you guys were out there laying the groundwork for people like me to be able to reference the website and pricing and grading and all that stuff. So but what the people we're talking about today are kind of the movers and the shakers, so to speak. Do you have an impersonation for us today? We've kind of been on a roll for that.
No, I got no impersonation for moving and shaking me. Visually, I could probably do some like Road Dog stuff like that, but
No Road Dog impression?
Road Dog. No, I'm not doing any Road Dog.
Okay.
I don't like being called out on it. It just comes. Let it come organically, sir.
We've got a whole show to go here, so who knows what's going to come out, right?
Who knows?
Well, let's start off with a recent guests that I have. And Tony, if there's other names that pop up throughout this conversation that I don't mention or don't think of, feel free to just jump in and, when the idea comes up, because we want to give everybody credit that we can think of that we've had interaction with, or people that we're seeing out there that are doing things. First one, we just had him on, Uncle Danny, the new wrestling card king. I mean, the things that this guy was able to put together in such a short amount of time. And you could say, oh, well, this guy's rich, he's just opened his checkbook. Guys, you don't understand the stuff he's going after. It's half that stuff's not out there. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
But it also, it doesn't matter. Fine, let's say he has a checkbook that doesn't end. Okay, let's just say that he does. There's still homework involved, research involved, connections need to be made. Networking is crucial and important, not only in all walks of life, but especially in our hobby, because especially in our specific hobby, because of people holding on to things. It's about trying to find those people and connecting those people and saying, hey, are you willing to trade? Are you willing to sell? I mean, this guy went out and just hit the ground, man, going out there in a short period of time and accomplished what he's done. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and he's a great guy too. I've dealt with him. He actually hooked me up with some autographed all-star cards that I needed for my set that I'm putting together of the signed versions. And this is the type of guy who gets it. He knows what he has. It's valuable. He's not going to get rid of his stuff, but if he has extras and you're willing to pay for it, and he gave me a very reasonable deal on the stuff that I bought from him. And I was like, this is what the hobby needs. Like, if you've got rare stuff, hang on to it, but also be willing to let people like me or you, or what happens if somebody come along and they're 10 years old and all of a sudden they want a Hulk Hogan 82 All-Stars, and they could trade a bunch of sports stuff they had or sell it off. Like,
sure,
it just takes movement. We've talked about that. Let's move on. But again, check out Uncle Danny on Twitter. That's where I think I see him most. He's on Instagram as well. But this next category, I got 3 guys, and I want to put all 3 of them in there. And like, these guys may be the 3 that are really moving wrestling cards into a different direction. Drake Magruder, who we recently had on a roundtable episode.
Yep.
Brett McGrath, also been on a roundtable episode. Adam Gelman, also been on a roundtable episode. These 3 guys are like, I'm almost speechless to say how much good they have done for the wrestling card space. I got to let you take it.
I 100% agree, man. I was really, I just met Drake for the first time at a roundtable session we did recently, which was great. Another amazing guy in this hobby. Just Brett, with Stacking Slabs, was really honored to be on his Instagram live, which I don't do that very often. So that was nice to be on and talking with him. And just such an even kill guy who just gets on there and just spits out so much knowledge, man. Just like, it's just amazing to hear him just talk. I like
not afraid to be different and being a beacon for bringing mainstream sports people into wrestling.
I look at him, with got the hair and the beard, like my wrestling card Jesus, man. I'm just and Adam Gilman, love that guy. He's one of my favorite guests to have on. I've interviewed him a few times when I have like a breaking news segment I need to talk about. This guy just seems to have, he's so dialed into everything. He just seems to have such a great sense of oversight to everything, and so much knowledge that he provides from the years of his collecting, that I think is important. Whether you agree with him or disagree with him in certain practices, whether it become grading or this or that, and he could be very outspoken. But I like that outspokenness, because these guys, like all 3 of these guys that you mentioned, Drake, Brett, and Adam, these 3 guys, couldn't be more different in their personalities and are exactly like anything that we get like in wrestling itself. Like the three totally different characters that maybe you don't like this guy and he shouldn't be going for the title, but you like this guy, he should be going. They're three totally different characters that bring all unique, different perspectives to the hobby.
And I love how they've pushed modern wrestling to the forefront.
Absolutely.
You know, we've talked about this forever, that people get sick of, now I don't, but people get sick of seeing vintage and the same All-Stars cards, or the same, like, you know, action packed or 1990 classic or whatever it is. You just throw your old vintage card sets in there, and people get tired of that. And we have a whole new crop of wrestling fans that are getting into wrestling cards from AEW Upper Deck release. We've got wrestling fans that are kids that see packs of, yes, that's right, you can still actually buy packs and Topps blasters of WWE product at Walmart. It's out there. Yep. So like there's a whole new crop of people getting into the hobby, and these three guys are like the perfect people to guide them into the right direction. And before you say anything else about them, I do want to say, go back on the WTC YouTube channel, and I believe you have the audio up for it as well, if you want to check that out on the podcast. But you did the announcement where you had the massive roundtable, and Brett and Adam were both on the same show.
Yep.
For those of you guys that know about the WWE Prism release that's coming out, if you have to stop this podcast right now and come back and finish it, go check out that video, because if everything that you want to know about kind of what to expect with WWE Prism is in that episode. So make sure to check out that video or the audio.
Those guys, just because they're so used to that particular product line that they know Panini so well. They brought so much insight to what to kind of expect. Now, what they're saying, they're not, you know, it may not all be 100% truths like that, but these guys dropped so much knowledge in what you could possibly expect, reasons why you expect that. And it's all modern stuff too, by the way, which was, I was just so happy.
A breath of fresh air, really.
It really was. And so I love talking to those guys. Anytime I love listening to those guys. I don't listen to anywhere near what you listen to when it comes to podcasts. Like I made that kind of a resolution for 2022, and I'm doing it more. I mean, not very much, but I'm doing it more now than I ever have before. Just a little droppets here and there. But those guys drop so much knowledge. Like I love just hearing them talk. I mean, Adam pretty much does a lot of just tweeting. And so I've been talking.
And his website with the blog.
Yeah, and the blog, in which he tweets links to his blog, stuff like that, which I would recommend going back and reading all that stuff. I've been talking to him about possibly doing something under a new. I'll talk to you about it off air. But it's just these are three guys that I think they're kind of some of the forefront when it comes to like heavy hitting, modern era type wrestling collecting thought process, what to look for, being different.
Yes.
It's just so much stuff that if you're new to our hobby or coming back to our hobby after many years of not being in our hobby, these are three guys I think you should go listen to, follow, and you will learn a lot from them.
Yeah, they're the prime example poster children, I should say. I can't speak English very well tonight. It's late. I think I get a pass. Well, I guess it's normal time for me, but for the average normie, it's late. Like they're the prime example of some that they don't care about rookie cards. They don't care about what's hot. They don't care about what's cool.
They don't care about grading. They don't care about. They're not necessarily. They're not concerned about that kind of stuff.
They go with whatever they like, whatever their gut tells them. Brett's whole thing is go left when the market's going right. Mm-hmm. So and then
brilliant.
And then you've got Adam, who does not like I don't know if he doesn't necessarily believe in grading, but he definitely points out the flaws, which are hard to argue against sometimes.
It really is.
So like that's the thing that I see a lot with wrestling cards is the community, I guess you could say, the collectors. It seems like they reach out to me and you, which there are no dumb questions. Like we're here to help any way we can. But these guys don't need your justification. They go out and do what they want to do, and they love it and they have fun. And those are the people that I really look to. And I'm like, okay, these guys, like, I love the opinion, agree or disagree. I'm constantly just trying to be a sponge and learn from them.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Let's move on to the next one. Collecting with Caleb Adkins, who
Dude, I freaking love what he's doing right now. Like,
go ahead, just
I'm
take it.
I'm not a fan of a diehard collector of indie cards, but this guy took a passion that he loves for indie cards, which is, let's be all honest, like in the last couple of years, it's really taken on a whole different life of its own. Really made people in our hobby have fun looking for some of these oddball, obscure card sets out there. And there's so many people making them. This guy says, you know what? That's what I specialize in. I specialize in indie cards like that. I have a cool collection of things that I'm doing and how I collected things. And now starting a YouTube channel talking about indie cards. I freaking love it. Like it makes me where I can go and watch someone like him or listen to someone like him on his YouTube channel. And I'm learning new things about our hobby that I never would have known before because he's gone out and done all the homeworks like that. It's like having like a whole WTC indie section. It's like
Good comparison.
presented by Caleb's like that because he's out there doing the homework. He's sharing his what he's learned. It's just cool stuff. Like, I'm not interested in collecting those things. I have no passion for going out and collecting those cards. It's just cool for me to see someone who does have that passion.
Yeah, totally agree. And one of the biggest things that I have to say about him is he's one of the people that picked up the flag and say, hey, I'll do it. When we were kind of putting out the call to action, we need more wrestling card content, whether
100%,
that's vintage, modern, indie, just talking about your collection and not trying to, put out anything else other than, hey, these are the cards I like. Caleb's one of the first people I've seen that's actually been trying to do that on a consistent basis. So for that, and combine that with indie, which there's not really a huge indie presence on social media or on any kind of content. And then all of a sudden Caleb's coming out and like you said, he's like, this is his lane. This is what he's going to do. And since then I've seen more indie collectors. I've seen more people show interest, and it's a different crowd. They're not looking, they're not like, I'll put myself in the category of looking at markets and pricing and, shiny stuff and really hard, obscure vintage stuff. They're kind of in their own thing that doesn't really fit in either one of those categories. And for that, I like totally respect them. I'm kind of like you. It's not something I do or buy, but I'm constantly interested. I'm always looking to see what's going on with that space.
It keeps me on my toes. I feel like an older guy. Well, I am an older guy, but I feel like like the dad who ends up having his young kids and their friends, and I'm kind of like just kind of learning from them, like all the new music, because they bring all the new music to me and like, oh yeah, I do like them. Oh, that's a cool thing. Like these guys, like the new guys who bring in like new stuff. Hey, this the Limitless sets and GCWs and all this stuff over here. It's like I learn about stuff because I'm learning through them now.
Same, except I kind of feel like the dad, but I don't have those New Balance dad shoes. So I don't know that I can officially do that or not.
You don't need them. Trust me, I don't have them. You don't need them.
Fair enough. Let's move over to somebody who has, seems to specialize in autographs. I'm not just talking about any autographs, rare autographs.
On-card autographs too.
On-card autographs from sets. I mean, and he's kind of in the Uncle Danny territory of, going like the amount of stuff he's been able to put together such a short amount of time. Mr. Jamie Wallace, you've had him on you've had him on a couple of your videos. I think you got another one coming up soon. I'll just give you the floor to talk about him.
He's amazing. What the stuff that he's accomplished in the short amount of time he's done has been incredible. I mean, and then you got to kind of have like the predecessor to that would be like a Wes Moore too, because you got to. Here's a guy who also collected and was toward the tail end of his journey of collecting all those WCW sets from 98, 99 from Topps, and then Jamie comes in like that, and then did what Wes did in such a short amount of time. And then made those connections. And it's all about networking, man. It really is. Like, I wouldn't even be doing the show with you if we didn't network somehow because of our YouTube channels kind of thing. And it's just all about networking. And this guy goes out there and he's got the passion for it, loves to go out for the really hard to find on-card signatures, has probably one of the most impressive collections of on-card signatures now in wrestling cards that I've ever seen from anybody. I mean, Paul Anand from the Price Guide, he was a guy that I knew, him and Wes, like, okay, these guys are kind of like neck and neck when it comes like the full total card count in WCW autographs. Oh no, here comes Jamie, goes, I'll see your 104 and I'll raise you another couple of cards. And it's like, this guy's, I mean, he has really kind of shown what you need to do to go out there when you're passionate about a
Yes.
particular lane that you have, to go out there. And it's not just like, hey, here, I have money. Because I don't know what Jamie's financial situation is. I mean, but I know that he's got collections and he knows how to, you know what? I don't need these figures. I'm going to go ahead and sell my figures, which for a lot of money. Take the money that I make from that, put it into my cards. Okay, I've got extra of these cards. I mean, he's taking things that he's learned from like you and how you level up, and then build that collection even more. It's like he just sold, he just sold recently that Hardcore Hack autograph card.
Oh yeah.
Why would you sell that?
Not
If you
sure.
have it part of your collection, why would you sell that all of a sudden after getting it?
Have another one maybe?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just speculating. Like, who the hell does that? Who you have a card like a Hardcore Hack that you don't see very often, and now he's got, potentially, just speculating, he has 2 of them. Come on, man. That's some serious homework, man.
And that
my
goes
hats
back.
off to him.
That goes back to the argument that people say about, oh, well, these people that have these rare obscure sets, or these people that have these high-end cards, like they're just opening, they have endless amounts of funds and all this stuff. Well, like, who else is finding these hack cards? Nobody.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of the amount of money, like, you just can't find
work.
them.
It takes work. What your rewards in this hobby are going to be equal to, and sometimes greater to, the amount of work that you put into it.
Absolutely. 100%. I'm a poster child for that. Started with $15.
You are absolutely 100% the poster child of that.
All right, last one on my list, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody. So again, if there's anybody, Tony, that you're thinking of that I haven't mentioned yet, as we close, we could not close without mentioning Card Foundation. I've, a lot of people maybe do or don't like their style, or, think that maybe they talk a little bit too modern, or talk about like the prospecting aspect.
Which I think is perfect for this time, this age right now. So,
Me too.
I mean, they were barking up the right tree from the beginning, man.
Yep.
And they work within their own wheelhouse. I mean, they work with, they know where their strengths are. These guys don't collect vintage stuff. They don't collect, 55, 56 Parkhurst cards. They don't collect, the All-Stars. They don't collect the 73 they don't collect any of that kind of stuff really per se. They're really into what they grew up with, which is, something we talked about in a roundtable session not too long ago, where we talked about things like what makes you want to collect certain things.
Yeah.
And that was, basically what you grew up with, what you are,
what you connect with,
like what you connect with.
Yeah.
And so these guys connect with, modern product, maybe some Attitude Era stuff. I'm not,
a little bit of indie stuff.
Yeah, I listened to most of their stuff. I also have a different business aspect of why I listen to them, because they're promoting my Top Rope Con, everybody, September 17th, Tampa, Florida. These guys, they do their homework. They're very structured. I've always said time and time again about their show, they're very polished. I make jokes that we don't have sound bites, this, that, and the other side. That's not our style, really. It really isn't our thing. So they do it. They do it very well. And I think they're really educating a lot of people. There's a lot of people who've joined their Patreon groups, their exclusive Facebook group you have to be part of, like that, for their thing. I know that you and I got like a,
yes,
what do they call it? Like we got an honorary doctrine to come to come.
We got the Good Brother invite.
The Good Brother invite, which so it's cool to see a lot of names that we don't normally see, because they're fans of their show, they're fans of their product, and I like what they bring to the table. I like that they share knowledge of what their knowledge is. You've got a Papa Bear out there who goes out and, he's the grader kind of guy who knows all the aspects of grading for what he does. And then, Danny and Giants like that, do a lot of speculations and stuff and figure out who's, this, that, and the other. And I just think it's a well-run format, and I like to see more people do that. I think Caleb's doing that for the indie thing. I think that Caleb's show that he does can grow into something more than just, here's my latest submissions, talk about this set. I think he's onto something really good, and I think that there should be more Card Foundation type guys out there that doing some stuff. Like, I don't ever looked at them like, I know that you and I in the beginning talked about like did we view them as competition? Like,
No,
there's no competition here.
I just viewed them as growing the hobby even more, which is what we even need
100%.
more of. Like,
Yeah,
look how much sports card content there is out there, or Pokemon content. Like, why are
sure.
we not seeing that with wrestling cards? Again, you guys listening to this, if you're interested, reach out to me and Tony. Be happy to maybe give you an idea or how to start. Like, where do I even start to make a podcast? We can't help you with everything, but we can maybe get you steered in the right direction where to start.
So with that being said, and I know I'll talk to you off air. I don't care. I'm going to talk about on air. So with that being said, I kind of like envision doing something a little bit different now with the WTC channel. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep kind of doing what I'm doing. But if you're interested in having a podcast, you don't know how to do it, or you don't know where you want to put it, or you have like a section of things that you want to talk about, I'm thinking about doing like a WTC network where I have I'll change the channel. You guys put the content out. You want to edit your stuff. I will give you a channel with a built-in viewerships like that. We can put on there, and I can create playlists for you. And I do send me the stuff. I'll put it on the playlist for you, and we'll promote it together.
It's an amazing idea. What a great way to grow everything.
I'll have everybody, Caleb or all these guys, they all want to, hey, let's put it under the banner so and put wrestling all under kind of, one roof almost kind of thing where they want to have. I'm all for it. I don't care. You can have your own individual one. I will give you my comments, things like that. Zhan will do the same thing. But if you want to be, just like, hey, I want to do something, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe I'll do a couple things. I'll put it under my channel for you. I don't care. It's content for you. It's content for me. It's content for collectors. So I don't care.
Is there anybody that's come to your mind since we've been talking that we've left out? I know we've left out people that are very important, but
there's a lot of guys out there that are doing.
There's just so many.
I mean, lately I've been talking with Frankie Santos like that.
Yep.
He's been incredible, helped me with some of this stuff when it comes to the Lucha Libre stuff. I just sent him an email this evening. We're recording this evening. I sent him an email kind of detailing our structure, how we do checklists like that. So he's going to be helping provide like that. He's another guy out there who's just, I don't know how long he's been collecting. I want to talk to him, have him as a guest. I don't know how long he's been collecting, but he's super knowledgeable, super friendly, super giving to the hobby. I think that there's a lot of guys like Frankie's out there that are just giving to the hobby, giving more information to the hobbies like that, helping things out. I mean, Matt Delakis like that, another guy's like that. Tony from what was his
at Cardboard Picker.
Yes, another great guy. So I have a great episode. I don't know when this episode's coming out, but I have a great episode with those three guys talking about limitless cards. These guys are out there doing all the homework. They're figuring this stuff out, making it so that providing obviously for me for WTC, giving information to give to collectors. They're making it easier for collectors out there to understand what they have, what they're looking for, and they're showing some passion for some sections of the hobby that maybe people don't look at. It's like that. And I love that. I love tweet wrestling. I love that guy stuff over in the UK. So I think he's got a different perspective on stuff like that.
He's a cool YouTube channel too. Again, putting out content, just different.
Absolutely. Where it's be stickers or cards like that. He puts out some great stuff out there all the time of, stuff like there's mini versions of the classic cards. I didn't know that. Right. That's cool. There's just so many guys out there putting out content that are providing to the hobby. We've obviously got a lot of collectors out there. Corey putting out his cool autograph sets.
Yep.
I love those card sets. I try to promote them as much as I can as well. And there's so many guys who have passion for the hobby that are just helping people understand things about this hobby, which is great. We live in a great time right now. I mean, 2022 now.
Best year, like this is the launching point for wrestling cards, in my opinion. If by the end of 2022, wrestling cards are not up there with all these other ancillary F1 Pokemon, all that, I don't know what it's going to take, because I've never seen the buzz. I'm seeing new names come in. We've got the Upper Deck release. We've got the Prism release. It's huge. I've just never seen a buzz for wrestling cards. Finally, I've complained about it for all these past episodes and videos and stuff. We're finally seeing it.
It's like when I did that interview for that TV show for that Card Life TV. It's
Mhm.
like that where they asked me, I like, and I talked about like the AEW thing. I said I've never seen a buzz like this before for our hobby ever,
Yeah.
and I think it's been shown to be true because
Yep.
we have a lot of new eyeballs coming in because the AEW. But whether you like that product or not, I don't care if you're a WWE guy or this guy. It doesn't matter because in our hobby, it's all part of wrestling cards, and that's brought new eyeballs into our hobby. And that's what Panine's going to be doing too with this Prism stuff. I call them the Prism Boys. Those guys are going to be coming in here, whether you like them because they're flippers or not, I don't care. It still puts a spotlight on our niche that's going to attract people. Whether we have, if we have 100 new people who are just are flippers, and those flippers bring in 100 different people for each one of those people, and some of those people stick around because they're like, hey, I like the old this cool like 98 superstars or the all stars or the classic. That's just more people looking at our product and getting into the hobby, man.
Yep. And the other thing is everything you just said, as far as somebody coming in and looking for that information, everybody we've talked about on this show, they can go straight to them. Oh,
Exactly.
you know, Orange Cassidy, I heard he's got this independent card where he's actually one of, it's supposed to be in Chikara, but he's not really admitting it. Who's got that? Well, maybe Caleb has that because he's covering indie stuff.
Yep.
They got questions about rookie cards. Hey, Card Foundation covers that every single
Yep.
week.
Yep.
Maybe the guy out there, I can't remember his name. Somebody's out there putting together a heck of a Tony Schiavone rainbow out of the
Oh
AEW
yeah,
set.
yeah.
And maybe he's like, I want to go back and look some of the autos. Okay, well, Jamie Wallace can tell me, does he have an auto in the WCW set? I need to go to him. Maybe the Prism Boys decide to stick around. They can go talk to Drake and Brett and Adam and understand kind of that more modern sports card feel of the shiny refractor parallel kind of stuff with WWE. So
Yeah.
it's just, we've got such a good base going forward now. And I'm sure there's some people out there listening that are like, I talk to you every day and you didn't mention my name. Again, I apologize. It's just
Yeah.
when we got together, we were discussing like, who are the names we see constantly that are doing something different and pushing the wrestling card hobby forward. And
Well, it's people putting out content, people that are, and I mean, you can go to the contributors page for WTC. There's a whole link for contributors, and I'm adding names to it all the time because people who provide. I used to put people like if you had like one little snippet of information about a particular thing, I put you on my contributors page. I really don't do that anymore now. So people on the contributors page are really those who like they do their homework. They're out there trying to help the hobby. And if I wanted to give you a thank you to all those people, I mean, I couldn't name you all because it's just there's so many people out there that are making WTC what it is, and we're really trying to be the one-stop place you go to when you want checklists, information, images. I mean, everything you want is like that. I mean, we're trying to make it. It's more than just providing information out there so you know what you have and what you're missing. It's helping like grading companies learn that
yeah,
okay, these are legit. I want to get these graded. Great. PSA recognizes it because it's on WTC. And these guys, this new era of people are out there doing this stuff by getting the new card sets, these new indie sets, these new all the new products that are coming out and are helping with all that information. So there's no way I could do what I do without these guys. And I thank all of them.
yeah. And it takes everybody to make this hobby work. It takes content creators, it takes flippers, it takes hoarders, it takes collectors who don't want to let go of anything. Like every single person, and new collectors, kids coming in that don't know anything. Like all of this stuff is a cycle, and it all works together. Despite a lot of people out there not liking certain segments, you got to understand it all works together. And hopefully everybody we've named and ourselves can just continue pushing the hobby forward and having a good time doing it. So Tony, let everybody know where they can find you and anything else you got going on. Take a second to promote that convention that you're putting on.
Oh, yes. September 17th, Tampa, Florida, Florida State Fairgrounds. You can go to topropecon.com, announcing talent as much as we can. We've got some names. I don't know when this is coming out, this episode's coming out, but we've got some names that we haven't announced yet that we've got locked in that I think people are going to be happy with. It's my first venture into actually being a promoter of a convention now. I've been doing booking for so many years that I'm kind of maybe going to get in the promoting business now a little bit, and got some good names. We're going to be featuring a lot of vendors selling everything from trading cards to action figures and shirts and whatever. But my goal is to be more than just a typical wrestling convention. I don't want to be your normal convention.
Yeah.
We may be that in the first year. I'm not going to say you're going to come in first year and say like all this, like, oh my God, it's E3, CES. But my goal is to be there. My goal is to be like the national sports convention, but for wrestling only.
Right.
I would love to have Upper Deck. Upper Deck talking to you, wink, wink. I love to have Upper Deck come and be a vendor at my show. I would love for Ringside Collectibles. I would love for Mattel. I would love for pro wrestling, T-shirt.
Pro wrestling tees. Get Leaf there too while you're at it.
Leaf. I'd love to have any of those guys. All of you guys, are welcome to be and come in and get a booth, get 2 booths, get 4 booths. Every booth at my show is a corner booth.
Well, this isn't breaking any news, but we should also promote that one of the new flag bearers of wrestling cards will be at your show that we talked about today. Card Foundation.
Oh, yes. It's not breaking news, but Card Foundation will be there. They've got a booth. They're going to be doing a live podcast from there. They have, that's all I know. I opened the invitation to them. They jumped all over it. They're coming down. They got plans for things. I don't know what their plans are, but they are going to
be at the show to see it.
I'm at the show to see it. But I have no doubt they're going to have some cool special things. They're going to bring some merch to sell, and help educate people. And I want them. I have a wrestling ring that's going to be there for the whole day. We're going to be doing all of our Q&As inside the wrestling ring with talent. I want to section out a part of the day where I want the Card Foundation guys. I know Paul Anand from the Wrestling Card Price Guide. He's a vendor. He's going to be there.
Get everybody up there, Q&A for wrestling cards.
Yeah, I want them all up there for Q&A for wrestling cards.
There we go.
Them all in the ring talking about it. That'll be one section of the day where I will not be running around like a chicken with his head cut off doing something, where I want to moderate.
Is there any way, also, I just saw this, is there any way we can get a video of that for the WTC YouTube page?
100%. I plan on having a lot of video content being done. I know my wife's coming down, it's like that. So I'm hoping she can record stuff for us, but I'm going to run around and do the best I can, man. But I'm nervous because it's my first time doing it. There's a lot of money on the line here.
Yeah.
There's it's a 55,000 square foot expo hall. We're going to hopefully pack that full of wrestling fans. I don't care if you're into t-shirts, action figures, programs, trading cards, whatever. It's like that. I love for you guys to come on down, check it out. Tickets are super cheap to get in. Like
TopRopeCon.com.
TopRopeCon.com.
And of course, do you have it somewhere on WTC in case they?
I don't. You know what? It's a good idea. I don't, because I know that WTC is a air quotes sponsor for that. But I will. It's a good idea. You're full of a lot of good ideas today, Zhan.
I try.
You're done for the year. I'm gonna actually. I will put that up on the website. It's a good idea. I will cross promote and put Top Rope on there. It's very smart. I'm gonna have to hire you.
I'll take payments.
All right. I'll send you coffee.
that works, actually.
That's right.
And you can find everything I'm doing at Zhan Morning on social platforms. Wrestling, I almost said WrestlingTradingCards.com. Again, I'm a little off tonight. Wrestling with Cards on YouTube, Wrestling with Cards, the podcast. Please subscribe to both of those. And I've got links to Patreon. I've got a lot of exclusive stuff on the Patreon page, some videos, a lot of exclusive content and potential merchandise coming up that is going to be available, some only to patrons and some patrons first, and then everyone else. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about later in that as that stuff comes out. But again, subscribe to the podcast. Check out my eBay store. Got all kinds of things, 99 cents wrestling cards, all the way up to like mid to high end slabs. If I got some sealed product, all kinds of ways. So again, all of that stuff goes back to help contributing to the show. Tony's got donation links as well if you guys want to help contribute monetarily to WTC for
I forgot about that.
All the hours that go into I have to promote it for you because I use the checklist all the time for doing videos or grading something. I do want to say
I do think hopefully next time when we record I'll have his name. One gentleman actually sent a nice little donation to the site for the checklist like that, which I thought was very, very thoughtful and nice of him. But I got
shout out to the donation guy. Can't remember your name, but thank you.
Yes. So first and only ever.
Hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you did, please leave us a review on whatever popular podcast platform you're listening to this on. Subscribe, tell a friend about the show. Let's continue to grow the listener base and the community. We greatly appreciate your time. And until next week, see ya.
We're out.